Everybody, let's go to John chapter 13. We're going to do verses 1 through 17. I'll read the odd. You'll read the even. And then we'll read the last one together. Oh, man, thank you for ministering that song. Appreciate that. That was awesome. Okay, is everybody there? Okay, so we're in John chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. Okay. Now, before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them until the end. Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from God and went to God. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Jesus answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter. Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, Ye are not all clean. Ye call me master and Lord, and ye say, Well, for so I am. For I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done to you. Let's read together. If ye know these things, happy are ye if you do them. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. So welcome to part 2 of iServe. Everybody look at this and they look at this as a sad time, but you got to realize this is a celebration. So when we come in here, we want to celebrate the Lord. Can we celebrate the Lord today? All right. So let's tell what Rock of the Valley is, because we the church that love everybody, but we need to see some smiles if we gonna love everybody. So let's read this vision together. I rock, I love, I submit, I serve. When people feel that passion, that's a place they want to be around. Ain't nobody trying to go to no ice party where it's all cold. It can look all nice and everything, but it's Alaska still. It's cold. People want to go where it's hot and sunny. They want that fire. So they need to feel that when we come around. They need to see that because everybody already gloomy. They got to see that happiness in you. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I had a good day at work. No, come on now. No, I had a good day because the Lord kept me. He provided the vehicle that we needed. He gave us the perfect example. He said it. So let's go. So now, before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them until the end. Jesus knew that he was going to die within hours. Jesus knew he had to leave his loved ones here on earth. What would you do if you knew that you only had an hour to live? One of the most impactful days at youth mentoring for me was when they told me the doctor said I only have 1 hour to live. We had to write down in a journal, you only have 1 hour to live. What would you do? And every time you say it, but when you actually take the time, if this is really real, what would you do? Elder Taff is here all the time saying you need to make these arrangements, but we don't do that. What would you do if you only had an hour to live? They gave me 15 minutes to write my last words so they can provide it to my loved ones. Not only did I express my love, but I also left clear instructions on what I expected from my wife and my children. Jesus knew he was about to die. And what was his focus? His focus was to wash their feet. There are times in our lives when things go well. There are times when things go badly. But it's one thing we can always celebrate is Jesus died and he rose again for us. He didn't have to come down here. He was already in the heavenly places, but he humbled himself for us because we kept messing up. But the only way we can make that connection with him, he had to come down for us and die for our sins, for that veil can be broken. Oh, man. And he took the time putting up with all the stuff that we go through, complaining about. He already knew the beginning and the end, but he still listened. He didn't tell them the solutions. Oh, don't worry, you're going to be in heaven with me. We're going to be there. No, he said, don't focus on that right now. I need you to just focus on today. Every time he walked with him, he said, focus on today. What do we call today? The present. It is a present to be living today. But we walk around, we're not happy. We don't want to celebrate till it's our birthday. That's one day out the year. But we can't get up and thank God and celebrate that we are living. It's a lot of people that can't get out of bed. It's a lot of people that can't run. Sister Hinton just said that I couldn't walk the day before. But now I can run and walk. Why? Because she is rooted in the Lord. Oh, man. Jesus said in John chapter 12, verses 46 through 47. John chapter 12, verses 46 through 47. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge not. For I come not to judge the world, but to save the world. Isn't that deep? Somebody want to reach out to you and talk to you. It's not for you to talk about them. It's for you to pray about them. That's why they brought it to your attention. You already know what they did was wrong. That's why they came to you. But it's not to judge. It's to save them. It's the point, not to be their gods, but to point them to the source. You got to get them connected back to the source. Because all that stuff sound good, but if you're not connecting them to the source, that's going to dry out. The well's going to get dry quick. And if they call you, you don't pick up, they act like it's the end of the world. And I remember one time I was like, man, I'm having something. I need you to come pray for me. He said, man, you could pray for your own house. You got to pray. You should have been doing that already. You got to get some oil. You should already have some oil at your own house. You got to take care of that's your house. That's not my house. Y'all can encourage you, but sometimes you're going to need to step up and do it for yourself. Don't let and every time somebody come through, they're like, man, you need to do this, you need to do this. Oh, you just a hater. You just a hater. You ain't trying to do that. No. Just because I didn't help you, it's not for me to help you. It's just for me to point you to the way. That's the only way I got here. Somebody pointed me to the way. We don't have all the answers. If we did, that'd interrupt their path for where the journey that they have to go through. You can be stopping and putting a barrier in front of somebody to the path they need to go to if you keep coming over there saving them and helping them. And you think you're doing a good thing, but yet that trouble going to come up again, and they're going to keep coming back to you for that same trouble. They got to get there to themselves. They got to learn how to seek him, hunger for him themselves. The context of Jesus washing his disciples' feet is set before the Passover feast. In verse 1, there would have been great excitement in the air as hundreds of thousands came to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. And remember, they didn't have cars. They didn't have flyers. They didn't do that. But they all knew they needed to come here to celebrate. So this is already coming for the party. This time of celebration foreshadowed the death and resurrection of Jesus, which we now celebrate as Easter. When Jesus had finished washing their feet, he said to them, "Do you understand what I have done for you?" What was it all about? What were they to understand? We can see 4 pictures from the passage. They are love, service, humility, and forgiveness. Love. The act of Jesus washing the disciples' feet demonstrated the full extent of his love. He was about to die, but yet he took the time to share kindness, to put what somebody else's needs before them, because he needed to demonstrate when you're going through something and you so focused on you miss the bigger picture. You so focused on you, but you don't see all these people hurting all around you. You got to look at the bigger picture. So when you start serving, you start putting other people's needs ahead of your needs. And as you start serving, God will open doors for your own personal needs, because he already knows your wants and desires. But yet, if you don't want to step forth and act as if it's already done, and helping somebody else is the best way, when you can humble yourself and not judge, not try to say what they need to do, but just say, "Here, I'm here to help you. That's all I'm here to do, is to serve you." "Oh, but I need you to do that." "No, I'm here to serve." That's when your faith goes to a higher elevation. This is a very striking contrast of what the world thinks of when people use the word love. It is far more than a feeling or an emotion. It is a decision to treat people the way that Jesus would treat them. Then we go to service. The roads of Palestine were unsurfaced and unclean. In dry weather, they would have been inches deep in dust. In wet weather, they would have been liquid mud. In a wealthy household, on arrival, there would be a bowl at the door. The second lowest slave of the household would untie the sandals. The lowest slave would wash the feet. While the others are reclining, that means they just had everybody, you get the ideas, you sit back and they relaxing, having a good time, they enjoying themselves. Jesus gets up, takes off his sleeves, his tunic, and strips down to a loincloth. Like a slave, he starts washing their feet. Jesus is taking the place of a person at the bottom of society. The last place, the place of a slave, the one who does the dirty jobs. And some stuff, you see some people come to the house and they clean some stuff, you like, "I don't know how you did that." I don't know if you ever seen a plumber. Sometimes stuff gets so backed up and it's just all over the place, and you got stuff that you don't normally see outside of places where it belongs all over the place, and you got to come clean it up. You could even think, if you think about the police, like even some things, if they have sometimes when people die and it wasn't a good way that they died, it was taken horrifically with weapons. Some stuff splatter, liquid splatter all over the place. Police don't even clean that up. They said, "No, you got to call somebody else. We don't do that." They got to have somebody come in there, and they come in with masks and gloves, and they got to get on their knees and scrub and scrub. That's some of the stuff that some people not even willing to do. But Jesus is about to die. He took the time to get down and wash them dirty feet. This is a total reversal of the world's model of leadership. Jesus shows us that if we love people, this is the church that love everybody, right? So if we love people, we will be willing to serve them. And that those who serve should be always treated with the highest respect. The ones we serve, they got to treat them with the highest respect. They should feel like they're coming into the Ritz-Carlton when they come in here. We meet them to the door. Let me take you to your seat. Let me make sure you connect you with somebody so you're just not sitting by yourself. I know you like that spot over here, but I know this person right here. Look, I need you to take care of them today. This is their first time. We need them to have the best experience when they come in here from beginning to end. You already know where they should sit and where they're not going to be a good place, so you got to connect them with the right people. You got to take the time to ask them why they're here. They're going to tell you why they came. They're going to tell you who they referred you, but ask them why they're here. Sometimes we don't even take the time. We just say, hey, glad you came, but you never took the time to ask them, why are you here? Because if they tell you why they're here, maybe you can connect them to somebody else for the same reason they came. We got to give them an experience that, oh, man, something about it, I felt so comfort. I felt peace when I came there. I felt the joy of them. I can see it's a light in there. There's some type of fire in there. Somebody that was hungering for that word. And guess what? They stayed true to the word. It wasn't all hype. They taught the word. Because we can have a good word all day. We can bring that best word you could ever see. But like I told you about that pizza early, if it's the best pizza in the world and somebody give it to you with muddy hands, that's some pizza you can keep. It don't mean nothing. And if you can have some nasty pizza, but if you had the best service ever, you'll still go back to that place because you say they probably just cooked, probably was off that day. But that service was impeccable. They had impeccable service from the day I got in there to there. It was a type of love that I can't even mention. Man, you just got to just go for the service. You know, the word wasn't right, but you go, they got Sunday school and the word's right there. You know, but it's that service. You can't replace service. Now we come to humility. Jesus uniquely combined absolute love and absolute power. The Father has put all things under his power. In love, he chose to act in humility and serve his disciples. Those who seek their own glory, like Judas, are reduced to nothing. It's always going to be that one person you think they your best friend. They the one making the most noise, and that's the same one that's talking about you the whole time, looking for the opportunity to bring you down. That's that main one, but you want to keep servicing that person, but that person is the main one that's trying to bring you down. But because they keep saying, yes, you did that, yes, oh, don't listen to them, yes, keep doing that way. I don't know what they talk about. You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. You did a great job. Man, nobody in here moved in here. Pay attention. You're listening to the wrong person. Who are you listening to? You got it, but you don't know. Because if you preach a good word and you stay here and you never make it to that door to connect to the people before they leave, you don't never touch them, you don't never speak to them, they don't have no relationship. You could be the best pastor in the world, best preacher in the world, you could be fine, all that and everything, but if you can never connect to the people, it don't mean nothing. They were like, I see them every day, but I don't even know who they are. I never had a conversation with them. Every time I try to conversate, they got to go. Every time I try to get with them, they got people in front of them. So I don't really know his heart. People need a connection. They want to touch you. We got all this stuff right now. You can have 1 million friends on Facebook, but if you ain't never talked to them in person, those are not your friends. You think you got friends and followers, but it means nothing if you don't have a relationship. People want an actual relationship. I'm trying to tell you. They want a relationship. They want to be able to connect with somebody. So you got to be careful of the Judas. Because that Judas, even though he's with you every day, at the end, he's going to betray you. Those who exalt themselves are humbled. Those who humble themselves, God will exalt. Jesus reveals a new way of exercising authority through love, service, and humility. In this dramatic way, he bridges the gap between those in leadership and those under their leadership. So like I said earlier, to be a good leader, you got to be a good follower. If you ain't following nobody, how can you lead? You just somebody walking by themselves. when you have become a good follower, that trains other people how to follow. That word submit, that's not an easy word to digest. But if they see you submit, then it's not that hard because you done broke it down for them. It's just like trying to give a baby a big chunk of apple. They can't eat that. But if you take the time to mash it up, blend it up, what you got now? Applesauce. That baby happy now. You got applesauce, but you got to take the time to know who you are serving. You got to know the person you're serving. You can't give everybody apples, and you can't give everybody applesauce. You give a grown person applesauce, they be like, what is this? They be upset with you. So you got to know who you are serving. Then we get to forgiveness. The washing and cleansing is a sign of forgiveness. Cleansing from sin. Foot washing is a picture of what Jesus is about to do on the cross for us. Through Jesus' death for you, you are totally forgiven. The things that you already did, he already knew you was going to do it. He already knew and he already forgave you. He said it is finished. Why then does Jesus teach us to pray regularly for forgiveness? I find the most helpful analogy and picture is the one given here. When Jesus moved to wash Peter's feet, Peter said, "No, you shall never wash my feet." Jesus said, "Until I wash you, you have no part with me." Peter replied in effect, "Well, in that case, wash my whole body." Jesus said, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean." This is a picture of forgiveness. When you put your faith in Jesus, you are made totally clean and you are forgiven. Everything is dealt with. You do not need to repeat this one-off act of repentance faith that leads to total forgiveness. It is the equivalent of having a bath. However, as we go through the world, we do things that tarnish our friendship with God. Your relationship is always secure, but your friendship is sullied with the dirt that you pick up on your feet. Each day pray, "Lord, forgive me, cleanse me from the dirt." You don't need to take a bath again. Jesus has done that for you. But a measure of cleansing may be necessary every day. In addition to our great Easter celebration, each week when we gather together on the day of the resurrection, which is Sunday, we remember and celebrate these amazing events. That's why I said when we come into the house of the Lord, we celebrate because we made it here. We made it. We may have came on some broken pieces, but we are here. That's why we celebrate. That's why we don't need anybody to move us. When they start singing, we up on our feet, excited, joyful. That's what people come for. They want that happiness. But we got to be excited as soon as we come into the house because everything that we're looking for has already been done. Furthermore, every time you receive communion, you are celebrating the death and resurrection of Jesus for you. As we stand,